My name is Lorraine. The phone in my hand is vibrating non-stop, but I'm not going to answer it. I'm driving home with my son Ethan, in the back seat. His little voice just asked, "Did I do something bad?" And it felt like a punch in the gut. The Christmas Eve that was supposed to be a warm family gathering turned into a nightmare. As I look in the rear-view mirror, I see Ethan, his eyes downcast, holding the gift he wrapped for his grandparents tightly. I remember the moment we walked into my parents' house. It was a scene of chaos and celebration, but not for us. A few weeks ago, my mother called me. She has always been a controlling and cold-hearted woman. Her voice on the phone was overly sweet, a sure sign that something was off. "We're having a more grown-up Christmas Eve this year, Lorraine. No kids, just adults enjoying a quiet evening," she said. I was taken aback. Ethan, my 8-year-old son, is the most curious and kind-hearted child. He's always full of questions about the world, like why stars twinkle or how clouds are formed. I'm a single mother, working as a financial analyst in a small firm. It's a tough job, but it pays the bills. My ex-husband, Mark, left me a few years ago and moved to another city. He barely keeps in touch, and the child support he sends is sporadic at best. So, it's just Ethan and me most of the time. My older sister, Olivia, is the apple of my parents' eye. She's married to a wealthy man, Henry, and they have 3 kids. Olivia always plays the victim, complaining about how hard it is to manage a big family and a high-end lifestyle. My parents, John and Mary, eat it up. They think she's the perfect daughter, the one who upholds the family image. About a year ago, Olivia mentioned that she might have to pull her kids out of their extracurricular activities because of money. I, being the naive one, stepped in. I started paying around $800 a month for their dance, soccer, and art classes. I also helped my parents with their bills when they said they were struggling. I thought that by being generous, they would finally accept Ethan and me as part of the family. But little by little, the signs of their favoritism became more obvious. One night, we had dinner at my parents' house. Ethan was excited to tell everyone about a science experiment he did at school. As he started to explain how a simple circuit works, my mother interrupted him with a sigh. "Ethan, can you stop going on and on? It's so tiring," she said. At the same time, Olivia's youngest spilled a glass of juice, and my mother just laughed it off. "Accidents happen, sweetie," she cooed. A few days before Christmas, my mother's call about the adults-only party came. I tried to rationalize it, thinking maybe she really wanted a quiet night. But deep down, I had a feeling it was more about Ethan. The next day, Ethan asked me if he should bring the gifts he made for his grandparents. He was so proud of the handmade cards he made, with little drawings of snowflakes and reindeer. I couldn't bear to tell him he might not be welcome, so I just told him to keep them ready. On Christmas Eve, I had no one to leave Ethan with. I made the decision to bring him with me. I dressed him in a cute green sweater with a snowman on it, and we drove to my parents' house. As we pulled into the driveway, I knew something was wrong. There were cars everywhere, and the house was filled with noise. When we walked in, it was a scene of chaos. Olivia's kids were running around, screaming and laughing. There were presents everywhere, and the Christmas tree was lit up brightly. My mother froze when she saw us. "Lorraine, we weren't expecting you to bring him," she said. I stared at her. "You told me no kids," I replied. She shifted the tray in her hands and said, "These kids know how to behave." Olivia just nodded in agreement. Ethan's voice was so soft when he said, "Mom, I can wait in the car if they want." That was the breaking point. I knelt down in front of him and said, "No, baby. You did nothing wrong." Then I stood up, looked straight at my mother, and said, "Come on, Ethan. We're leaving." My mother scoffed, "Lorraine, don't be so dramatic." My father added, "You're making this awkward for everyone." Olivia rolled her eyes. But I didn't care. I took Ethan's hand and walked out of the house. Once we were in the car, I started receiving calls from my family. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I opened the family group chat and typed, "Do not call me when the payments stop. You made your choice tonight." And then I hit send. By the time we got home, I had over 50 missed calls. I didn't answer any of them. I helped Ethan out of his sweater, made him some hot chocolate, and put on his favorite Christmas movie. I kissed his forehead and told him that we were a family, no matter what. I sat at the kitchen table and opened my banking app. I canceled all the payments I had been making for Olivia's kids' activities and my parents' bills. It felt like a weight was being lifted off my shoulders. I also sent a message in the larger family group chat, explaining what had happened. The response was immediate. Some relatives were shocked, some asked if it was serious, and an aunt said she always felt something was off about how Ethan was treated. My mother started calling and texting non-stop, telling me I was overreacting. Olivia sent a message saying I had ruined Christmas. But I didn't let their words get to me. A little while later, Henry, Olivia's husband, called me on a video call. He looked angry. "Have you really been paying for all their activities?" he asked. I said yes. He turned the camera, and I could see Olivia in the background, crying and trying to grab the phone. He then asked if my parents knew, and I said they did. He closed his eyes for a moment and said, "I thought Olivia was covering those fees. That's why our finances were so tight." After that call, things started to fall apart at my parents' house. Relatives started asking questions, and my mother tried to claim it was a misunderstanding. But the truth was out. My father got defensive, Olivia started crying, and Henry took the kids and left early. The next morning, my mother sent a long message about family misunderstandings, and my father asked me to be reasonable. Olivia sent a long message blaming everything on stress and the holidays. But none of them really apologized for hurting Ethan. That evening, Ethan and I went to my Aunt Grace and Uncle Tom's house. They welcomed us with open arms. Grace bent down to Ethan's level and asked if he wanted to help decorate the Christmas cookies. Tom listened patiently as Ethan explained how a magnet works. Ethan laughed that night, a real, carefree laugh. Over the next week, some relatives reached out to me privately, saying they had noticed the favoritism for years. Olivia kept trying to contact me, but I ignored her. My mother showed up at my house once, but I didn't let her in. I asked her if she was sorry because she hurt Ethan or because everyone found out. She had no answer. I learned that blood doesn't always make a family. Real family is about love, acceptance, and respect. Ethan and I had our own wonderful Christmas, just the two of us. And I'm determined to protect him from any more hurt. I hope that if anyone is in a similar situation, they choose to protect their child, just as I did.